everyone! Today's video is going to be a new video of my rat care series, and I'm starting this series with housing, and so this video is going to include cages and supplies that you need for your pet rat to make their home perfect. So the very first thing that you need to consider when getting a rat is the cage. And there are three most basic rules before actually purchasing a cage. And the first rule is bigger is better. What's the biggest cage you could afford and find a spot for? The second rule is no aquariums. They are rarely big enough and have horrible ventilation. The third rule is no bare wire flooring. This is because no one wants to walk and sit and sleep on bare wire because it hurts their feet and can cause infections, which is usually called bumblefoot. And so now I am going to list some cages that I recommend. The first cage I recommend is Martens Cages, and I will be doing pros and cons of each of the cages that I recommend. So the pros of a Martens cage is it's sturdy, big, and beautiful. These PVC coated handmade cages are roomy but easy to fit on a cabinet or table, and they tend to be just long enough and wide enough and plenty tall to help you maximize what space you have. The cons is shipping costs make these cages expensive unless you can find one used locally. They are heavy and are sometimes a little tricky to put together, as well as you have to get a little creative to cover the wire flooring. The next cage I recommend is generic rabbit cages, rabbit or guinea pig cages. The pros are you could find them almost anywhere, used, new, or donated, and they are relatively cheap. These large cages tend to be not so tall, but plenty long, around 3.5 feet long, and easy to clean. The biggest con to generic rabbit cages are the 1-inch bar spacing, which means most female rats and young rats will be able to slip right out. And although 3.5 feet doesn't sound all that long, it can be hard to find a spot for something as long as your toddler is tall. Also, if you want more than 3 rats, you better go bigger. The cage that I highly recommend is the Midwest Critter Nation cages. You can also get the Ferret Nation, which has 1-inch bar spacing, which you'll have to mesh over. The pros are space. It has a bunch of space. At least like 10 or 7 to 10 rats could fit in a double unit Critter Nation. It's elegant, sturdy, and no tool assembly. Looks like a piece of iron wrought family room furniture, which I agree. As you can see, mine right here is beautiful. This cage has huge doors for easy access and cleaning, adjustable shelves, ramps, and so much room for your rats to live happily and for you to exercise your creativity. You can fit a bunch of toys and a bunch of things in this cage, and your rat still has a bunch of room to climb and run around and explore. The cons are it's heavy and it takes up quite a bit of space because it is 6 feet tall. And although we said bigger is always better, this cage would be a little bit overly extravagant for just a pair of rats, although that has never stopped me. So yeah, those are the 3 types of cages I recommend. I will be doing another video more in depth on different rat cages. So things to consider when getting a rat cage is finding the perfect spot. Is your cage long and deep, or is it tall and wide? Either way, you will need to find a spot for it. And the spot that should be in would be not in direct sunlight, not exposed to cold drafts, but has good airflow, not too close to the ground, not surrounded by loud noises, often visited and easily accessible. Now that you have your perfect cage and perfect location for your cage, it's time to accessorize the cage. And starting off with food and water, you're going to need either a water bottle or a water bowl. It should be a glass water bottle so that your rats don't chew it and make a huge mess of your cage. Right here I have my rat's old food bowl, and it is a ceramic ramekin bowl from the dollar store, so they won't be chewing out of that. And I also have another bowl that I used to use. This is a really hard plastic. I don't recommend hard plastic just because, or any plastic, because it can be easily knocked over and chewed on. The next thing is bedding. The golden rule is no pine or cedar. Anything that is soft and dust-free will do. Popular choices include aspen, hemp shavings, shredded paper, newspaper, paper towel, fleece, and flannel. What you want to consider is bedding is often transported in the same containers as live animals and can be therefore contaminated and infected with lice. So I recommend that all bedding is placed in the freezer for 48 hours before use to eliminate any risks. So this was a 25.7 liters of bedding, and I put that in a deep freeze for 2 days before I used it because it could contain lice or mites, and I don't want to expose my rats to that. Now, hiding spots. Every rat needs hiding spots in their cage. This could be either plastic hiding spots that you get at the pet store, it could be boxes even, or wooden hidey houses. What I recommend with wooden hidey houses is that there is no flooring to it, because rats do pee even if they're litter trained, which I will do another video on litter training in the future. Let's say you have 2 rats, you will need 4 hiding spots, just so it gives them some places to go and eat their food. Another thing that your cage could have is hammocks. You can buy hammocks at the pet store, or you could make them. Rats do like to be up high and enjoy cuddling together on soft fabric. So right here I have a kind of a pocket hammock type thing, and I have a cube hammock. So the next thing you'll need is toys, because without toys, a rat cage will just be a prison, basically. So you could use basically whatever. I do have baby toys. You can use baby toys, only if your rat is not huge plastic chewers, because plastic could be harmful to rats. Here is also some corn husk, which they really enjoy chewing on. It helps with their teeth. And there's also wooden blocks that you could get. You could get flavored ones as well. And my rat's favorite are these hanging kebabs. It just gives them more variety, and chewing grinds down their teeth, which you don't want your rats to have overgrown teeth. You could even get some toilet paper rolls. Everyone usually has them, and they make great toys for your pets. Now that you have your cage, location, and accessories all picked up for your rats, you are all ready to go. And this concludes this video. If you liked the video, please subscribe, please like, and please comment, and leave down in the comments below what you would suggest that I add to this video. And I will see you next time. Happy rat keeping!